do it all. Now, here are your hosts, Lisa Lidbag and Angela Sandler.
Hey, everyone. It is a lovely, I'm real scratchy. It's a lovely Thursday morning here in St. Louis. We have a lot of moving parts this morning. So, number one, we do not have Angela today. So filling in for Miss Angela is our wonderful colleague, Remy. And Remy is going to be with me today as we interview our guest, who is also going to be coming in the next few minutes. So, but Remy and I have been chatting this morning, and we wanted to talk. So for those of you who don't know, I'm hosting or chairing or whatever you call it, a big gala at the end of the month, which is so exciting.
Fun.
So exciting. Yeah, I was just at a meeting and was kind of making all the last little, decisions and all that stuff. And we're really excited. I don't even know if you know this, Remy, but one of our guest speakers is going to be our one and only one of our producers, Brody.
Oh my gosh, really?
Brody Herman.
Going to be one of the speakers at the Autism Speak Chef's Gala on February 27th. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
We are so excited to have you.
What are you going to be talking about?
I don't know yet, but I'm going to be talking about whatever my journey, I guess, where I am today. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're going to love this. You don't even know this yet, Brody, but you're going to be kind of interviewed by Tamar Scher.
Wow.
Do you know who Tamar is?
I do. I just saw her last night at the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So Tamar is actually going to be our MC for the night. And she's so for those of you who don't know, Tamar is she works for KMOV. She is their sports guru. She just won Midwest Sportscaster Award of the Year, which is so incredible. And because Brody is a sports guy, this is going to be such a good conversation.
It will be.
I'm so excited.
Do you know what you're going to wear?
I do not know yet, but it's going to be a bright colored suit.
Oh,
nice.
So that'll be wearing a bright colored suit.
Sweet.
Yes.
That is so awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're so the gala, for those of you who don't know, is we're in our 14th year, and it's benefiting Autism Speaks, which is a national organization. We have a local chapter here that does a lot of really good work around research and really promoting the message of awareness around autism and just the various, as you know, Brody, and Remy knows this too, it really is a spectrum. Yep. And I mean, it is from everything from, you have nonverbal to you have very high functioning. And, as my son says, it's a superpower, and it really is. So Brody, why don't you share a little bit of your experience and give us a little sneak peek, because I'm super curious. One, how was your, tell me about your journey, because I only know it from my son's perspective, but I really want to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah. So my journey, my parents at a very young age actually noticed some developmental difficulties behind. And then I actually found this out recently, that the way they actually test you into the special school district in my local school district is which I was in, which was Parkway. And there's certain things, if you don't hit certain benchmarks, they recommend you for SSD services. And then, my mom, they wanted me academically, though, you need to go to kindergarten at this age. My mom's like, nah, needs to go in at 6. He can't be behind the 8 ball. We need him to be actually older. So that's why when I graduated high school, I was actually almost 19 years old, because my mom started me in kindergarten when I was 6. And the SSD rep at that time was Sandra Walker, who was an SSD, the head of the special school district at my elementary school for many, many years. She's a big advocate and is a big fixture in the SSD community, and said that was the greatest, advocation she'd ever seen for a child to stay back. And then this trend started of kids starting at a lot later age in kindergarten, which is a fairly new concept. And then the official diagnosis came. They sat me down and had the talk, which wasn't the talk I was expecting at all. I'm like, this is going to be.
How old were you?
It's about 8. Because I had a teacher at that point. It's like, he needs to get a formal diagnosis.
Right.
So they take me to this behavioral center, and they formally diagnosed me. First thing I thought was, am I going to die?
Yeah,
Please tell me I'm
Right?
not going to die. I
Well,
swear to God.
because it's so funny that you say that, because my kid had no idea what the diagnosis meant because of his cognitive abilities.
Yeah.
His diagnosis meant nothing to him. But I guess from your perspective, you were fairly aware that you were learning differently. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. I all of a sudden I realized that, okay, I have to go to all these SSD stuff, and they were on me like watchdogs. They really were overseeing everything that was going on. And, Mrs. Walker approached it like a coach on a sports team.
I love
She
that.
didn't just oversee one kid. She saw everybody in the school and all of their learning styles and differences, no matter what. They viewed it as SSD governs everybody, and who either need services, we give them extra attention and coach them harder because we want them to achieve. One of the things that my mom prided herself on in the whole department, she's like, we can't set bars.
Right.
He's going to exceed all of the bars we set, and they have these things called prompts. And if he achieves all of these prompts, it's like he's going to achieve all those prompts.
Yeah.
It was like, how's that possible when he's one of the top rated academic students in his grade?
Right.
Why are we setting, the bar? We want to shatter the bar, whatever bars we're setting.
Right.
So that was a big deal, but it was tough. My educational journey was tough. Things changed when I went to high school, because I went to a private all-boys Catholic high school called Christian Brothers College High School, CBC.
Yeah.
And then they gave me a computer, and it's like, you don't need to handwrite anymore. That those days are over, because I couldn't handwrite.
Right.
It was one of the things I write in capitals, as people know. I have very tough time handwriting.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Then my academic career soared. I became one of the top, academic achievers in my class. And I excelled, went to university, got a journalism degree, and, things turned around for me. So I was really excited about that. And just, it really affected my journey. I guess it was more socially, because, what a lot of people don't realize is what was so personal to me when I was a kid was not getting invited to a birthday party was the biggest deal when you're like 8 years old, because you take it personally.
100%.
Because it's like, okay, we're not that close.
Yeah.
You must not like me. And it is personal. Then you grow older, it becomes, sleepers. I never played sports, but, sports teams, there's like, it's all about inclusion. And when you don't feel included is when it stings.
Yeah.
Or somebody points something out. It's just like a huge sting. It doesn't feel, it doesn't feel good. So that's really where it sets you back. But, when your peers are so welcoming, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And the word doesn't have such a negative stigma, but I'm concerned, and unfortunately it's become a thing where it has become a negative stigma.
Yeah.
When people hear the word, particularly if they don't know what it is, it's instantly negative, and unfortunately that sets people back, particularly in dating. That's where it really has a problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So I want to touch on a few bits here, because I think that is what you just pointed out is so important from both perspectives, not only the child's perspective, but also as a parent. And I know your dad and I talked a little bit about this, like the social piece of it really was so difficult for all of us, because really facilitating relationships and helping, my child make it through the school system on a social basis, really the academics were almost secondary. It was that social piece that we take for granted, that you're going to get invited to everything, that you're going to be, your kid's going to be invited to play dates. My kid never had a play date.
Me neither.
Never.
I never had one.
And it was really heartbreaking, because those are the places where you build that foundational skill of socializing.
Yeah. And Jake is like the most friendly.
Well, so is Brody.
they're so
It's like,
friendly,
it's so interesting, but it's almost like, I think because, and maybe Brody, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Sure.
I think because people don't know enough and they don't know how to interact with you, it's not any different than anybody else. Like, I don't know why everybody makes such a big deal about, well, I've got to watch what I'm saying. I've got to, be more this, be more that. Honestly, the more real you are with my kid, the better it is for you.
Oh,
Because he will call you out on your BS.
Oh, yeah.
He will. He will.
Is that what you were like?
Yeah, it was. I think it's just, a lot of people in school, it was very hard for me, because they were just, it wasn't just that. A lot of the teachers, I don't want to call specific names, but there were a lot of teachers. There's one teacher, I knew I had to get out of the public school system because teacher says he needs to be medicated. And then I'm like, you know what, Mom, we need to make a change. Like, I don't care. We got to make a change, because they're just going to keep putting me on different medications, and we need to make a change now, because it's killing me. Because it did. It's like, we have in society what I call easy solutions or quick band-aids to fix things.
Yes, sir.
And medication is not the answer, particularly when it comes to it's just going to magically solve the problem. It's just a cop-out for, and everybody knows this term, IEP. It's called Individual Educational Plan. Some teachers take it and is like, okay, great. Other teachers toss it to the side and say, you know what, I'm going to ignore it. And here's what they shouldn't ignore it, but they do ignore it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this is my alternative plan of what I really think, what my opinion is on it. And that's another problem in education is it's up to interpretation or opinion. When an IEP, I don't even think it should be called IEP, individualized educational plan. It should be just, here are the accommodations that the kids should have. And you either, these are ironclad. These are things that aren't changed. This is not up for interpretation. But of course, in life, in laws, things change. And that's how in education, I think, is not evolved with the times. And I think lack of technology at times is a problem. And I think as you mentioned, Lisa, I think every parent I think school really has multiple purposes. One of the main purposes is obviously you get an education and you get grades and all that stuff and have to respect your elders and respect authority. Can't get that at home school. Can't do that just staring at a laptop. And the other key component is socialization with peers your own age. And every doctor, every professional says it's important for people to socialize with peers with their own age. And if you're not doing that, it's seen as being behind. So the parents feel like it's everything. We put our kids in all of these sports and activities because they need social interaction. We need to up their socializing, put them in summer camps to try to find a way to help their socializing. The only way to do it is to be with other peers. So it was important for my parents because I always told my parents, I'm like, why can't I just do all my assignments on, a laptop? And my parents are like, no, that's not the point of school. That's the point of academics. And that's great. The point of school is actually socialize with your peers.
You're so right.
And
Brody.
that's the big thing.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think that, Remy, you can chime in too. I think what people forget is that is really the purpose of school. Like, honestly, you can learn anywhere. And that is the truth. I love that you're saying that because that is something that I think a lot of people need to hear is, you have a role in helping this society in general, just not the autism community, but all the community. Like if you're inclusive and you're making a effort to be a facilitator rather than a roadblock, because there are a lot of roadblocks out there for our kids. And, we don't need an additional one being the school and being, made to feel like you don't belong to it. Okay, so Brody, you finished your education here. You went to school in Minnesota and lived on your own.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Were you scared?
I was scared. So first year I stayed at a dormitory, on campus, and it wasn't even required, but it was very scary because it was the first time I've ever lived on my own, but it was a big step. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was in college. I wanted to get an economics degree and go in private equity. And then I decided, okay, I don't want to do graphs all the time. So when I really found my place in college took this journalism entry class, and I had done journalism in high school. I went to a school where there were so many talented journalists there, and I ended up being a part of the, once I found my spot in journalism, I think it definitely improved my college experience once you find your place. But living on my own for the first time, it was definitely a lot of responsibility fell on you, like doing your laundry and, doing a lot of other things, keeping an apartment clean and a bunch of other stuff. So that was kind of a big deal for me to really, be on my own for the first time. And that, but it's a big step. And I think a lot of parents are concerned about that step of their kids being independent. So I think once you get over that hurdle, it's just another thing that, you could check that off your bucket list of your kid being worried about being independent.
Yeah. And I love that I talked to your dad about this. It's like the dating world, the driving world, you're kind of experiencing all of this right now in a very, very significant way because you're adulting and I'm so proud of you. And you really are an inspiration. And I just want you to know that, like, I see you and I say, really, sky's the limit. Yeah, it really is. So I'm excited to hear you talk at the end of the month. Yeah, and we're so excited to have you. And I'm so grateful to you for sharing your story because I know it's people like you that are going to make the change. Yeah, you really are. And thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with our guest.
You've seen this. It's brand new. Are you online?
Oh, hey. Oh, so you're new here.
All right, let's get cracking.
Okay, then maybe you should check out our website.
You're insane.
Well, you download songs illegally from the internet.
LouInfo.com. LouInfo, the Lou Information Station. 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Our origin story began.
St. Louis sports fans, now you can go deeper with STL Sports Central Insiders. Get exclusive access to Bernie Miklasz, Randy Carricker, Mike Claiborne, Jamal Mayers, and more. Plus, your chance to watch a Blues game in the alumni box with Jamal himself. Also, monthly giveaways, Bernie's columns all week, and you'll be supporting local sports media. Join now at stlsportscentral.com. At Commercial Technology Solutions, we are all about solutions. We pledge that our sales staff will listen carefully to your needs and propose a solution customized to your business. Our services and tech support are second to none. When you establish your relationship with Commercial Technology Solutions, you can have confidence that your tech needs are in the hands of St. Louis's best. Contact them in Missouri at 314-421-3550, in Illinois 618-452-3550, and online at ctsphone.com.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
With your LouInfo.com news, I'm Jared Cirillo. Part of a downtown St. Louis street is now closed due to a pavement collapse. St. Louis officials said a hole formed on Spruce Street after a vehicle drove over a weakened part of the pavement. Crews at the scene reportedly found a 6-inch water main break, but it remains unknown if the break happened or after the collapse. St. Louis Board of Aldermen will consider a bill aimed at stopping ICE from opening a detention center in the Gateway City. The legislation would impose a 5-year moratorium on permits and approvals for detention not under local control. A similar bill passed in Kansas City last month. And a cereal plant in Perryville is being fined more than $90,000 by OSHA in connection to the death of an employee. Investigators reportedly found multiple serious security failures at the Gilster Mary Lee facility on Old St. Mary's Road. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by Home Bank. Member FDIC. Secure your financial future by opening a high-yield checking account today. Go to myhomebank.bank to get started.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We've got plenty of sunshine coming up by tomorrow, but it looks like the clouds will hang around today and fairly cool. We'll hit about 40 on the high. Overnight, some clouds, our low near 30. A little windy on Friday, but sunny and warmer. We'll top out at about 50. Sunshine through the weekend, upper 30s on Saturday, low 50s Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com and the free Lou Info app.
All right, Cam, be honest. New Year's resolution still holding strong?
Not so much, Kat, but I did decide on one thing that I'm sticking with. Making home life better in 2026.
And that's a good one. And if better includes more fun, more time outside, and less stress, then you need to talk to Merrimack Pools and Outdoors.
Absolutely. They build backyard escapes, pools, patios, outdoor kitchens, the kind of place everyone actually wants to hang out.
And now's the perfect time to plan. Don't wait until summer hits. Start now, get it designed right, and be ready when the warm weather shows up.
Merrimack Pools and Outdoors walks you through the whole process, from design to construction, and they do it the right way.
So if your New Year's goal is fewer trips, fewer crowds, and more memories at home, go to SplashSTL.com.
That's SplashSTL.com, and make this year the year your backyard finally wins. That's SplashSTL.com.
Hockey parents, be honest. Are your tournaments this season feeling a little unpredictable? You've planned the weekend, booked the hotel, hauled the gear. You deserve a tournament provider that's as organized as you are. And that's where Big Bear Tournaments comes in. No guessing games, no mystery matchups. We proudly list every registered team right on the website, so you always know exactly who's in your division. There's great competition, clear communication, and zero last-minute surprises. Make your season smoother. Check out your next tournament at BigBearTournaments.com.
Lunchtime just got a whole lot better at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. From mouth-watering wraps to loaded quesadillas to bold, flavor-packed sandwiches, Hot Shots has something fresh every single day, along with your favorite wings, burgers, and pizza that you know and love. And don't sleep on those Hot Shots tacos. Plus, if you gotta be in and out quick for lunch, Hot Shots has you covered every day starting at 11 a.m. Find your nearest Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill now at hotshotsnet.com. That's hotshotsnet.com.
Back to more of Co-Found Hers with Lisa Lidbag and Angela Sandler on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey. All right, we're back now, and our wonderful guest is here, and we're so excited and so grateful for her because she actually made it out of her house with a sick child, which we know is so hard, and it's her baby who is literally sick for the first time.
Yes.
So honestly, the fact that you even are like here is we're so grateful.
No, thank you so much for having me.
So our guest, for those of you who don't know and don't recognize her voice, is Lisa Hugh with Lux Nyx. And Lisa is phenomenal designer and has solved an issue that has plagued women for centuries, I think, is how we carry our stuff and keep it organized and all the things. So we're going to talk a little bit about Lisa's journey. We have a really condensed show today. So we're going to try to squeeze in all the important stuff and all the really fun stuff because I just find her story to be so interesting. And I love fashion and I love everything you're doing. So
yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So Lisa, why don't you tell us about Lux Nyx and just kind of what brought you to this stage of your career, I guess, because you've been in business now for 8 years. You launched your first product 8 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Lux Nyx, it's Greek for light and night. And 8 years ago, I was in corporate finance. I was actually in there I thought I was going to be a lifer, work in public corporations. And I kept climbing kind of the corporate ladder. Right out of college, I was always, I always thought, okay, like I'm going to grow my career and I'm going to, do whatever it takes. So which means you got to travel, you got to do all these different things.
Yes.
Towards the latter part of that career, I did my MBA and I, travel for work, life, everything.
Yeah.
And I also hit up the gym because if you do that much mental gymnastics every day, you also like need some ways to, to distract yourself. So I found myself getting super busy and always on the go. And, I just like really wanted a really cool, awesome bag that held everything together.
Yeah.
And that was just the surface level of things, right? As a professional woman, the outward appearance sometimes mirrors the inward appearance. So at the time, I was going through a lot of personal tribulations as well, which I, went through a divorce and I was going through a separation. So going through all of that,
all life stuff.
Life stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just something that clicked with me.
Yeah.
And I looked around and I said, well, I don't know if, the corporate career finance track and this, working on my career, it's, caused my personal life to fall apart. And on my professional life, I, was working long hours. I was like, what is my purpose in life? I started questioning that.
Yeah.
So, but because
isn't that the start of every female founder's journey? What is my purpose?
Yeah.
Like how many times, right?
Like this early life crisis, I guess. I feel like a lot of people have that. And and I was doing so much and, I was looking at my backpack at the time. It was literally like an oversized backpack that was meant for like a college kid. And I was like,
were you living here in Missouri?
I was in
St. Louis. Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if this is
adult enough.
And plus I have to do all these different things. I have to travel. I want something that, it's like at that point it was 2 levels below the CFO of a public corporation. So I was like, I need to look good and I need to look polished.
Well, I remember my briefcase, but early in my career, my briefcase was like, that was very important. It was the pen, the watch, and the briefcase. I don't know if everybody, Remy's generation may not be living by this because they're not as materialistic as I think mine was.
Oh.
But
I think they are.
we
They have different things.
different items.
we started
Yeah.
I started my career, and that was like, I'm like, I have to have a really badass briefcase. Like, it
Yeah.
has to be so cool and so easy. I need a
Yeah.
Mont Blanc
You want to
pen.
look the part.
And
you
I
know?
need the really good watch. Like, I need people to see that I am successful.
I made it.
Yeah, I made it. And I'm only 26. Look at this.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you decided to make the leap then. That's
Well,
pretty
no, not-
crazy.
well, at first it was I was a chicken at first.
Okay.
At first,
Thank you for saying that.
I was like, well, maybe I'll do it. Like I'll do in my spare time.
Yeah, yeah.
And granted, I was also doing my MBA at the time, so I'm like, my spare time is very limited. But then I was like, oh, I'm graduating, so I'm going to have all this time to do more. And then I kept just like adding on to it. And I'm like, how do you, how do you source materials? Like, I went to
Right.
like New York Garment District and all that to like look for like hardware and all that. And then
that's so cool.
and I sewed our very first prototype. Do I know how to sew? Absolutely not. So I just
I was just going to ask you.
I like tried, and then I used hot glue for like the hot glue gun for the rest of it. And then the next thing you know, I was like, oh, I'm not really good at this. I'm going to go find a seamstress. I went to a local seamstress shop, and I found someone to help me make the first prototype.
Yeah.
And then I the next thing I was like, okay, I'm going to go find a manufacturer. So in my spare time, I would travel and look for manufacturers. And I realized, like, unfortunately, domestically, you can't do that. Like,
Yes.
there's not like a
Right.
maker that can do that.
Right.
And so then I was like, I started looking internationally and started to like find some, and I shipped my bags off. Like, I shipped my first bag, I should say. And then I got a sample pack. I'm like, this sucks. Okay, fine. Ship both of them out again to 2 manufacturers, got them back, and they sucked. And I kept doing that for like, I think the first bag, it took me like 40 prototypes before I actually
What was
nailed
the
it down.
time from start to finish?
So it wasn't as like 8, let's see, probably like 8 months.
Oh my
9
gosh.
months. But when I officially launched, it took a whole year before I officially launched. And I launched it on a Kickstarter campaign. And it was because I have a finance background, I'm low key a nerd. I launched it
I
right
love that.
after that tax filing date of like 20,
She measures her life against taxes.
2028. I was like, it's like a symbolism of like breaking free from finance or something. I don't know. I had a set in my head that I was going to do that. So it launched that month, and then I did a Kickstarter campaign. I don't know if people know crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah. Kickstarter is it's a platform that you raise money, and typically the maker will give stuff away for you to bid and give them money to get their projects off the ground.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was a big thing about 10 or 15 years ago, people.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is.
I think it still is.
Yeah.
But one thing that I learned from it, which is interesting, because I found some Kickstarters that were like making like millions of dollars. And I'm like,
Yes.
that's gonna be me. It wasn't me.
No, I think it's kind of like a shot in the pan. Like, it's
it
like
was
being a movie
so
star.
hard.
Like, there's so many movie stars out there.
Well,
And you're like, I'm going to be that movie star. No,
not only that, but later on, I learned that those businesses actually weren't profitable in the first batch because they spend a lot on ads, spend a lot just to get the product out there. So it's more of a surface level PR thing.
Right.
So regardless, I had this in my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to launch this thing. I'm going to make $1 million bucks. And then I didn't, but I did successfully fund it and was able to make my first batch. And, it'd be like, it was cool. It was cool. It was, my first go at it.
Were you always creative as a child? Were you creative?
I drew sketches of like fashion designs, but being Asian, you're told you're only allowed so many careers.
Right.
Or you're hammered in your head
Right,
that like, go make money.
Mhm.
And so of course I chose finance at the time.
Yeah.
But I think, like naturally I liked art. I
Yeah.
liked drawing and stuff like that. So I was always a bit of a left brain, right
Yeah.
brain. Even when I made, when I was at work, I made spreadsheets and they were, my boss literally said, Lisa, it looks like a unicorn puked on the spreadsheet. Like, could you dumb this down to 3 colors? I did eventually, of course, because I'm like, you're paying me, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
But
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because you're hot glue gun, and I know Angela's at home listening to this right now, and she's laughing because hot glue gun, like literally everything I do is glued with hot glue.
Yeah.
So I could just see myself doing exactly what
Right,
you're doing.
right.
But
Yeah.
the perseverance to, continue down that path. How did you keep yourself going?
It was, I mean, I'd say it wasn't easy by any means.
Mhm.
I think there, especially in the beginning, there's a little bit of you're just an optimist. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
generally you have to be have a positive outlook for you to continue in the first place, or else
Right.
entrepreneurship is just, it knocks you down.
Correct.
So
Knocks you down and then it kicks you.
kicks you when you're down. Yes.
Mhm.
Big time. So the first year we were, when I launched Lux Nyx after the crowdfunding campaign, that buzz kind of went away, and I was like, holy shit, like no one's buying anything from my
Mhm.
shop because like the website's here, no one's buying
Right.
anything. So then a friend of mine told me about just doing pop-ups. So I don't know if anyone still remembers Wellbridge and Clayton when
Yes.
they were there.
I think that's when we met you. Was that a Wellbridge pop-up?
Was
I
it?
feel like I met
Really?
you there.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
I
I've
think
had people that come back after that that were like, yeah, I met you there. So it's the oddest place to even sell handbags. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not gonna even lie. I'm
Right.
like, I don't even know what I was thinking, but someone told me pop-up, so let me go
Mhm.
try.
Mhm.
So I remember setting up, like a table and, putting everything together, and then people would get out of their gym class and then they would buy
Yep.
the bags. And those
Yep.
were like the first ones I bought them. Like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Because like the Kickstarter, in fact, this is some just an interesting fact. Kickstarters are usually friends of friends that
Uh-huh.
are like heard about your story and
Right.
like, okay, I'm going to fund this.
Right.
But strangers buying my bags, I'm like, oh, okay, people will pay this.
People like
Great.
this.
Like that helped me. So like the pop-up business model really helped me build up the confidence in the first year to be like, okay, I can do this. So then, immediately I kind of replicated what I did in St. Louis with the pop-ups, and we hire like ambassadors in like 16 different
Mhm.
cities, and then we stocked them with inventory, and
Yeah.
we were like ready to go for the next like 50 different cities or
Right.
whatever the next year. And then this little known thing called COVID happened in 2020, and then I got knocked down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then and so during that time, that was I would say, back to your question, it was like how how did you
How did
persevere?
you say? Yeah.
I think I was, it was tough. I think the thing that gave me inkling hope is we still had some sales. So
Mhm.
during that first year, we did some tests, and we did some PR campaigns, for PR, public relations. So like we pitched editors. We got one into like Marie Claire, which is really cool for the first year,
Yeah.
and I still saw some sales, and I was like, why are people still buying in the middle of COVID? It turns out, Marie Claire had a broad audience. So they had some customers or readership in Australia and the UK, which we
Right.
saw more sales from, and they didn't shut down at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So I don't have to just operate offline. I can operate online. And then I started looking into how to do Facebook ads, which also is a whole nother thing.
Right,
Don't do
right,
Facebook
right, right.
ads in the middle of COVID when everyone else is trying to do it. And so it was just, honestly, it was, again, I would say optimist.
Yeah.
Being just an optimist, like, you're like, okay, you know what? That's okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna, pick myself back up. I see, PR. I need to build up this PR
Yeah.
campaign and, grow the business from there. And, COVID will be over, like sooner or later.
Right.
And so, and then during that time, I was also thinking about diversifying our, like like distribution and
Right.
stuff like that. Was the first time I ever really even thought about distribution, because I just, my background's not doing the entrepreneurship. I thought I was going to be
Right.
in finance forever.
Right. Right. Right.
And so I started to think about, oh, wait, I did used to get backpacks and bags from a company. Where did those come from?
Right.
And then I realized there's this whole and their bags are great because they're, a lot of them are like work, travel related.
Right.
So I'm like, that's great. How do I get our bags into professional women's hands? So
Right.
then I started looking down that route, and there's these employee rewards. Like, hey, you did such a great job. Here's a gift,
Yeah.
And
So
so I
did you
kinda
go
opened
down
up-
that road?
Yeah. I did.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it was like, and like there were some like really awesome local companies that during that time really like helped build that channel for me and was like, yes, you're right. This is a thing.
That's awesome.
Let us support you. And like they were some of my first customers in that realm. And then that became a channel. So then I diversified and went from, you know, pop-ups to like nothing, to like PR and, you know,
to this other channel of distribution that you probably never even thought of.
No, I don't even think I would have. That's a whole nother realm and world. And so, but yeah, so then that lasted a couple years and it kept me going. And then, you know, but I still like after a while, it was still like, I don't know, like this is, you know, in the realm of doing, you know, the reward type, I call them corporate gifting. Is that, you know, you are still pitching companies all the time. And so after a couple years, we were, you know, my husband and I were thinking about having a baby and stuff like that. So I was like, oh gosh, like, can I keep doing this? I have to travel.
It's a lot of touch points.
It's a lot of touch points. And that's, you know, especially if you're thinking about having a family, that's hard.
It is. Yeah.
And so, you know, and so I honestly, I almost quit.
Yeah.
And that was like not that long ago. It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but you know, a friend of mine actually gave me some really good advice. And she said, do you want to, you know, at this stage, you have to decide whether you want to be 2 foot in, like both feet in, or you can't do this like straddle 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So just make your decision. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do one more round and, you know, like, let's see how it goes. So I, you know, went forth and put both foot in once again.
And what did that look like for you? Like, what does that mean? Is it you were you booted up your travel? You started, what was your new direction? Did you stay with incentives and go that route, or did
we did. And there was, you know, throughout these years, I've been pitching department stores, pitching, you know, like looking into that and it was percolating. And I did it again.
Good.
And so we got into Nordstrom's that year.
Yeah.
And that,
which is so incredible.
Yeah.
And can I just tell our audience, if you don't know Lux and Nyx, go on the website and check out this stuff, because if you're a fan of a certain Spanish designer with the name L, I think Lux and Nyx originated the puzzle purse. And your design, I know you've had this design for many years. Every time I see it, I'm like, it looks just like a Loewe. And I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. So you nailed it. It's gorgeous and it's beautiful and functional and all the things. And I love your stuff.
Yeah. It's about like, how do you make it? Well, that's the thing is it's just like thought about how do we make it's, you know, at the end of the day, like my intention is for us to be able to serve the professional woman that's juggling a lot, like, you know, who I was. And I know there's,
and we still want to be fashionable.
You want to be fashionable and you want somebody to hold you together, both, you know, physically for your stuff. And then also like, you know, for emotionally, like the thing that holds you together. Like, hey, the inside of me might look like a mess. The inside of my bag might look like a mess, but you know, you won't be able to tell. The outside looks amazing, and you know, we need to.
And it's accessible and affordable, and that's what I love about it, because I think that, you know, it's important. Not all of us are able to, you know, splurge on big brands and designer brands that are like way out of reach. But you still want to feel that special, like, look how beautiful I can be. I have good sense.
That was actually definitely a conscious decision too, because there's so many people that were like, well, why don't you make a $5,000 bag? And, but I knew my core customer, the woman that's working hard on her career or being a mom leader, she's like working hard and every dollar really matters. And like, I just want to create bags that are like quality, quality, accessible pricing that, you know, it's durable, will be with you and get you through kind of the hard days. And that's like super important to me to make sure.
What's your favorite bag?
Oh God, you can't ask that.
Like what's your favorite child?
Well, I only have one right now. So that one's easy, but that's like going to a restaurant and asking like the restaurant owner, what's your favorite meal? And then they're gonna be like, of course it's everything. You know?
I know. I'm loving this origami, the laptop backpack. It's so cute.
Oh, thanks.
It's so
Yeah.
cute. Yeah. I mean, everything's beautiful, but yeah, you have some gorgeous stuff. Remy, you need to get on here. Remy's looking at my computer going, okay, can I shop?
I
know. Isn't her stuff cool?
Yes,
I know.
I love it.
It's
Oh,
so
thanks.
awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to do work on some things right
Sounds
now
great.
to showcase the functions and all that too, in
Yeah.
addition to just like the appearance, because it's about this like how we really rack our brains on like how do we make our products intuitively easy to use, to like the compartments are thought of, and like we have the right amount of compartments, not too many compartments where everything gets lost.
Right. Well, like the one backpack, the Zoe, you can stuff your shoes in the bottom. Like, how cool is that?
That was like the first bag that I ever designed.
Oh
And
my
it was like,
gosh.
I overreached. I was like, I want this bag to do everything.
Girl,
Yeah.
When I was traveling, I would have died for this bag because that was my thing. I'd get to the airport, I'd throw my sneakers on and I'd throw my dress shoes away and that would be it. And you can't, it's hard. It's I love it.
Thanks.
Awesome. It's awesome. So what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, tell us.
Oh gosh.
What do you have in the hopper?
So we are right now we're honestly growing it as a solid business.
Mhm.
It's I feel like the department stores, because we actually got into quite a few. We got into Macy's, we got into Best Buy,
Mhm.
And so it's like because we have some work bags, like the backpacks as well.
Right.
And so and then there's a few others that are in the works right now. It's I feel like I went from this like period of survival
Mhm.
of trying to figure out like, am I going to make it, to
Mhm.
now I'm like, okay, the things I used to learn actually can come in use now. Like
Yeah.
it's weird, but
Yeah.
it's like a level of like, now I'm thinking about putting together the unsexy things, the processes, and like the
Yes.
getting, how do we make sure that we have a system that supports everyone in the
Mhm.
team and make sure everyone knows exactly what they're doing. Whereas before it was like, okay, it feels like we had like, it's like,
we got some bags. Let's sell them.
let's sell them. Let's find where, let's find
let's
ways
help
to
them
sell
find
them.
it, but help them
And-
find a home.
Yeah. And now, now it's like,
Yeah.
wow, like this is,
Yeah. It's a
people
company.
love them. People love them. We have returning customers. We have people that are telling other people about our products. And I can actually like breathe and be like, okay, what's the right long-term thinking and right long-term moves to build the brand? And,
Do you
we're
have a
going
lot
through.
of staff?
No, we're still a pretty lean team.
Mhm.
We're a pretty lean team, and we use a 3PL out in actually St. Charles. So they're an extension of our team. So I guess, even as a small business, you still have to have like all the different functions that work in a larger business.
Yes.
And do full-time staff plus a lot of like contractors and a lot of extension partners, like our third-party logistics that does our warehouse and fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you count all the heads, it's actually a lot. But if you count like how do you fractionally add up everyone, then we're a pretty lean team. And I like keeping it that way because then I can make sure that we continue to reinvest in the business and continue to grow the business. And that's super important because we're here to stay. We're here to be there for the long run. So, making those sound decisions in terms of and like thinking about the resources and making sure that we're a sustainable business, that people can always trust us to bring the best work and travel bags for professional women. That's the thing.
That's it.
That's our golden standard.
Is your husband in the business with you?
No.
Okay.
He has his own business, so he's also an entrepreneur.
Oh my gosh. How does that work at home?
Pretty good actually. It's we have a lot of conversations about business at the dinner table. And but we make it work. I think we work on trying to work on trying to make our businesses work for us.
Yeah.
So we'll do like, I don't know, digital nomad trips and stuff like that, where we will work
I
and
love that.
get to, kind of go and do our thing
and be.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What business is he in?
His business is called Clever Real Estate. So
Oh,
they
fun.
actually do, they're a marketplace that works between realtors and buyers and sellers.
Okay.
And,
so it's a very different business than yours, but
no,
it's still
real estate tech. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, very different.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so so long term, you see yourself kind of going, you don't see yourself as having a brick and mortar. You see yourself as being kind of in department stores and then also being online.
At this season of my life, when I have a child,
Yeah.
I don't want to travel as much.
Yeah.
And I know what it takes to build up. I shouldn't say no. I should say, I anticipate that's the amount of work, because you don't, when you're trying to build out something new, you don't just like assume someone else can do it. It's like, no, as you kind of have to lead the charge and you have to go out there, roll up your sleeves. And, even if you have someone that's supporting you in that, like, let's say we open up a shop, we open up boutiques, then I would be the first person to be there to train people. I would be the first person to be there to figure out the merchandising. I will be the first person to make sure that we're telling customers the right stories. And that's the most important thing. Because that's when you still have heart and soul to a business, especially if it's a brand that has a story behind it. But if you let that part go, then you kind of lose the soul of what it actually is. Yeah. Then, might as well be bought by private equity and stuff like that. Right.
Correct.
So it's like, I know what it takes, and I want to, if I'm going to do
your
it, I want to do it.
limitations. Yeah.
I want to do it right. Yeah. And we have so much right now that we're working on with the department stores, and so much like internal infrastructure buildup that we're trying to do to support the increased demand that we are. That's our focus.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. What's your leadership style? I'm going to shift gears a little bit on you.
Yeah. So that has changed so much.
How do you do all of it?
I would say that I wasn't always a good leader. When I was survivorship Lisa, it was, I was like a drill sergeant in particular. But I think over the years, I've realized there's two things. You need really good people. But once you have really good people, you just love on them.
Yeah.
You give them, you're just there for them. You
Let
make
them
sure
do
that
their
you
thing.
are, let them do their thing, but make sure that you're like, hey, I will be your quarterback. I will make sure that I'm going to be there to support you, because that's my job.
Yeah.
If you run into a problem, come get me.
Yeah.
Let's hash out, brainstorm all the things that are going on, and then also, because we're a lean team, there's always like capacity ups and downs. So making sure that you're there for them when they're like being their release valve.
Yeah.
So it's more of just like, once you have the right people and they're good, it's all about how do you make sure you
keep lifting them up.
You lift them up and you're like there for them.
Yeah. That's something Angela and I talk about that a lot, and Remy can probably tell you whether or not we live by it. But, one of our things is definitely bringing in people around us that are smarter. I always say, like, I have smarter people around me because I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything. And, and then to your point, just really being their quarterback, being their advocate, saying, raising the hand and saying, hey, I noticed you're struggling. What can I do? How can I help you? How can I make you succeed, or not make you succeed, but help you succeed and push you up? So, that's really been our philosophy, because we both learned through our careers, probably like you did, what you want to be like and how you don't want to be. So as a leader. So
yeah. And it's still an ongoing, continuous thing.
Evolving.
We're learning. Yeah. It's evolving, and we're learning all the time.
Always. What's your self-care? Like, how do you take care of you? Do you still work out all the time? Or you?
I do.
Yeah.
It's still a release.
Yes.
And then I meditate in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, I basically, as a founder, you have these things that you take care of in the business, but then the personal side, it's, I've had a baby sandwich between two deaths, actually. So my year ago, and I lost my grandpa 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So at the same time, I have a growing business and, a growing team. And so to manage through all that, the self-care part is actually, super important. And I think the old survivor Lisa would have benefited from that. It allows you to bounce back. So bounce back every single time there's a setback, or else you're.
Well, how do you bounce back though? So tell us what that looks like.
It's that. I mean, I take the time to like realign
Acknowledge.
and because I think when you think you're when you think you're sometimes you have this tendency of wanting to do work more
Mhm.
when you feel like there's something's going wrong.
Mhm.
And so that's the opposite of what you should do.
Mhm.
When I realize that like things are kind of going crazy,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I have like a list of things that I wrote down a list of things I like to recover from,
Yeah.
like just simple things like walking, drinking more water, like meditation or
Yeah.
working out. I have a set list and I have
Love that.
Yeah. And so just coming back to that and being like, you know what, the work can wait, but today,
I love
Lisa's
that
number
you
one.
have love that you have a set list. That's so smart. And do you just kind of make a choice? Like you just go through the list and say, okay, I'm going to do these 3 things because I know that these 3 things helps reset me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh,
So to keep it simple, because there's a lot of things that can help to make you happy, but there's like a few things that, because when you're exhausted, you're
Mhm.
actually, you don't want to even come up with ideas.
Right.
So if you just had a short list and it's like,
Yeah.
these are things that I know will like make me feel better.
Always.
Even if you don't feel like it in the moment, just go do it. Don't even think about it.
That is the smartest. Okay, this is going on our
Yes.
our recap because is a really smart technique. I really didn't even I've never done that, and I think it's so smart.
I think I do that, but like not like I'm aware that I do that. Like
Yeah.
I know like I need to do this
Right.
because it will make me feel better later.
Right.
And then I need to do this because it will make me feel better now. Like I do that.
Do you have it written down?
No, I think it's just
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same concept. Though,
Okay.
Yeah.
And Lisa, you have it written down.
Yeah, I have it written down.
So I think that's so
because
smart.
mommy brain is a real thing,
Oh.
and I can't
Girl, yes.
I can't remember things,
Yes.
and I have to like go
Yes.
to like look somewhere. Yeah.
Yes. Before we run out of time, because I know we're running about a minute out, why don't you tell everybody where they can find Lux and Nyx?
Okay.
And reach you if they want to ask any questions.
Yeah. So our website is luxandnyx.com. So luxandnyx.com. You can also find us on Nordstrom's or Macy's. Yeah, I mean, what was the other question? Sorry.
No, if they need to reach you, are you on
need to
social
reach me.
media?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, lisa.a2 at luxandnyx.com.
And we are going to be doing a special giveaway on our social media that is going to be around Lux and Nyx, which we're so excited about. I wish I could win. And we usually do a rapid fire in honor of Angela. I'm going to ask you maybe 2 questions. 1 question. I have time for 1 question, Ryan. Okay, 1 question. 1 word that describes you as a founder.
Reflective.
Oh, that is good. All
Yeah.
right. And on that note, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us and
Thank you for having me.
making this work.
Yes.
I know this is crazy time.
Yeah,
and so
I really
appreciative.
enjoy seeing what you guys are doing. This is so fun.
Yay.
This
Awesome.
is great. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. And everyone else, we'll see you next week.
Bye, St. Louis.
Bye.
Bye.